Lakeland Montessori Schoolhouse is a charter Montessori school educating children from 3 years old through 6th grade. Our mission is to provide an enriched academic environment which also emphasizes the development of character. Charter schools. Charter schools are public schools which operate under a charter, a contract with the school board. The charter details the school's mission, goals, and success measures. Although charter schools are held accountable for ensuring academic results, they are freed from many regulations and are given flexibility in the methods they use to teach that success. Charter schools are able to utilize alternative teaching methods. Our school, LMS, educates children through the Montessori method. Dr. Maria Montessori is the founder of what we now call the Montessori method. She is best known for her work in the field of education, for the development of a philosophy and curriculum which revolutionized education ever after. Premises. Children are capable of self-directed learning, albeit in a different way. Children learn through discovery. Didactic materials that are self-correcting are used frequently. Delineation of sensitive periods of development. Through her observation of children, Montessori came to a realization which seems quite simple to our present way of thinking, but which was revolutionary for her times. She realized that children pass through stages. In each stage, they have different needs. Also, in these stages, they have sensitive periods, during which they can effortlessly learn that which would later take conscious effort to learn. She developed her curriculum around these planes of development and sensitive periods. The child's interaction with his or her environment is the basis for curriculum development. Essential elements. Developmentally appropriate. The activities in a Montessori classroom are developmentally appropriate. They correlate with developmental stages and sensitive periods. Multi-aged groups. The classrooms are structured with 3 age groups. These are not haphazardly chosen groups, but rather children within the same developmental stage, either at the beginning, middle, or end. For example, children aged 3 to 6 are in the primary classroom. This is ideal because the children have the exposure to children with skills just above their own. Older children are given opportunities to teach known skills, thus strengthening their own knowledge, building leadership skills and self-esteem. Child-directed learning. All children learn at different rates, some needing more time to practice a skill before moving into the next, others acquiring skills quickly and becoming bored in a paced environment. The Montessori classroom allows each child to move at his own rate, aided of course by a trained teacher who helps him move along the continuum. Each child in the classroom is working on different skills. Although there are some group lessons, the majority of instruction is presented one-on-one or in small groups. The children independently practice these skills between lessons. Because all of the materials were actually designed to the child's interest, while still teaching an academic skill, there is no need for the teacher to remind or coerce the children to work. In fact, they love working. Carefully analyzed lessons and prepared environments. The lessons in the classroom are carefully analyzed and presented to the child so that he experiences success with each step along the way. Subsequent lessons build on previous skills taught. All lessons are presented in a concrete manner before an abstract manner. For example, recognizing the quantity of a number is presented to the child before presenting the numbers. The action of adding 2 numbers together is presented before the child writes an addition problem. Lessons always include the child experiencing something, acting on the environment, before an abstraction is applied. Freedom within limits. Children in the Montessori classroom are given certain freedoms. Each freedom has a responsibility, or limit. For example, they are free to choose their own work, but the work must be something they've been shown how to use. It must be used appropriately, not mistreated or misused, and it must be available. Another child cannot be in the middle of using it. Opportunities to develop social skills. Quite differently from the traditional classroom, where children sit quietly 90% of the day while the teacher instructs the group, the Montessori classroom is an active place. It is a place where you see young children discussing literature, assisting each other with difficulties, enjoying a snack together, learning how to discuss a grievance. It is also a place where children are directly taught, in grace and courtesy lessons, what is expected of them. They are taught small but essential things, like how to thoughtfully walk around a friend's work, the appropriate way to interrupt a person, and how to greet a visitor. Because of this foundation, the kinds of behavior problems most people expect to find in such a complex group are not so often found. The classroom develops into a small family. Hands-on approach. Children learn by doing activities that involve the five senses: kinetic movement, spatial refinement, small and large motor skill coordination, and concrete knowledge. This leads to later abstraction. Teaching materials. The teaching materials in a Montessori classroom are specific in design and dimensions. They focus on a single skill, concept, or exercise. There are multiple uses. Materials used for sense impressions are also used to improve fine motor coordination. Montessori versus traditional education. Kinesthetic materials versus textbook and worksheets. Children in a Montessori classroom are given the opportunity to learn through a variety of hands-on experiences, rather than simply learning rote rules and practicing worksheets. Lessons matched to social development. Uninterrupted work cycles versus block scheduling. Children in a Montessori environment are given time to practice skills at their own pace. If a child is engaged in a reading activity, he is not interrupted by an externally imposed schedule. Children learn to manage their time to meet all of their curricular goals. Multi-age classrooms versus single-grade classrooms. Student-directed learning versus passive involvement. Children in a Montessori class are actively involved in their curriculum, setting and meeting goals and collaborating with peers. Process-focused assessment versus product-focused report cards. Children in a Montessori class are engaged in learning and are assessed individually. Internationally developed unified curriculum versus individual subjects. Desired outcomes. The development of students who are engaged, self-directed, independent, and have a love of learning. Among famous Montessorians are many people known to be leaders in their respective fields. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, founders of Google. Jeffrey Bezos, founder of Amazon.com. Anne Frank, author. Sean Combs, entertainer and entrepreneur. How you can help. Donate land or provide low-cost, long-term ground lease. 3 to 5 acres, green space, within Polk County. Accessibility to public utilities need not be established.